Welcome everybody to Dreamforce 2014 and the Desk API session. My name is Jaz Thakkar. I'm the Director of Engineering at Desk. And on stage with me today, I've got Brandon Levy from Stitch Labs, Jeff Von Ward from TalentBin, and I also have Andrew Dorr, who's our lead engineer in the API team. So before we start, I need to make the obligatory safe harbor announcement. And so we're going to talk about the present and the future, but please make all of your purchasing decisions based on what's currently in the application suite that we're about to show you. So move on to the next slide. So what is Desk? So Desk is the small business support platform provided by Salesforce. Our key differentiator is speed. We are fast. We can help you get up to speed and get your support agents very productive very, very quickly. In fact, today at 1 o'clock, there's a session at the Westin St. Francis about how to get Desk up and running within 20 minutes. But our customers typically tell us that we can be up and running and have our agents productive within a day or so. We have a very rich case management functionality in the application. We support many channels, so your customers can interact with you through Facebook, through Twitter, through email, and some chat. And also we have a phenomenal reporting and insights module. Great visualization, something that was released very recently. So as you go to other areas of Dreamforce, specifically over at the Westin St. Francis, you'll see the service keynotes, and you'll see a lot of demos of Desk and other products. So please get over there. It's multilingual. We have support for a number of languages across the globe. And also, to top it off, not only is it available on the desktop, but we are fully functional on iOS and Android. So a very broad platform, very rich functionality, and really speed is our differentiator, like I mentioned. So some statistics from our customers, based on what we provide you within the application. We're seeing our customers seeing 27% decrease in support costs, 34% faster case resolution time, 38% increase in agent productivity, 42% faster response to customers. We have functionality in the application such as macros and bulk case management. So you can really react to your support cases very, very quickly. All in all, and again, this is stats from our customers. They're saying that 36% increase in overall customer satisfaction is what they're seeing once they start using Desk and our product. So, when we talked about this presentation, what we didn't want to do was stand in front of a deck. We really wanted you guys to hear from our customers. And let's start with Brandon Levy, CEO of Stitch Labs. So Brandon, tell us a bit about yourself, your product, and your company.
Hello. 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 I'm trying, really trying. Is it working now? We're not across the street. Hello. I would just speak really loud, but they say I have to speak into a microphone. Oh, thanks, Jazz. Cool. It's the world's smallest mic. My name is Brandon Levy. I'm the CEO of a company called Stitch Labs. We have a software called Stitch, and we are a commerce automation company. What that means is, at our core, we are an inventory and order management solution, but the real value that we bring to our customers is the way in which we automate the ways that they sell. For example, say I'm selling these black button-down shirts. I'm selling them simultaneously on Amazon and also on eBay. If you sell in one place, we'll sync inventory behind the scenes, aggregate all of your order information, provide one comprehensive place for all of the reporting. And the direction that we are going is much more how to make small and medium commerce-based businesses or product-based businesses' lives a lot easier. So in the future, a few years from now, no longer will businesses have to think about where they're going to sell their products and goods and how they're going to sell them. They'll sign up for a service like ours. We'll see that they're selling black button-down shirts, but they don't have good listings on, let's say, Rakuten. We'll automatically list those products, automatically generate the purchase orders for their suppliers, send them to their suppliers based on the forecasting and aggregated algorithms they use, and even facilitate the loans in terms of working with partners for working capital so that they can get those products in the door without even having to touch them. And that's what we do.
So walk us through the experience of integrating with Desk. So what problems were you trying to solve? And how did you use our API to solve those problems?
So we have thousands of customers now, and currently our support and success team is 6 people. We'll be at about 14 people in the next 6 months. And some of the biggest challenges that we were having and that we use the Desk API for is people are having to log into multiple different platforms in order to give our customers the best experience possible. The main thing was there was some key customer information that was in their accounts, how they were using our product, billing information, a number of other things that was not natively available in Desk. And so using the custom fields on the company level as well as the customer level, it allowed us to utilize Desk API to ingest that information. And when all of our support, our success representatives, as well as our sales team logs in, sees a particular customer, they also can see that detailed customer information. What this enabled them to do is make them a lot more efficient in their interactions and also give them a lot more context, because the key things that they needed to know about each of our customers' accounts was readily available to them. They didn't have to go hunting for that information.
Okay, so what you've just described is really a join of our data against some of your internal data, right? So, what was hard about the integration aside from maybe, looking for that join? What were some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
The challenges with the Desk API?
Yeah.
Let's see. We did the initial integration on the old API, so that was a lot harder. But we've since migrated, and that one has been a lot easier. I think some of the challenges that we faced with the API itself, one, just in the past the documentation wasn't as great. Now the documentation is much better, so that's not really a main issue anymore. The other has to do with rate limiting. It just really depends on the volume of cases that you have and how many different interactions, or I guess how many different HTTP transactions we needed to have in order to get the data in there effectively in a timely manner. Because for us, if a customer signs up for an account and that information isn't populated into Desk right after they sign up, that's a problem. So we need that information to be pretty much real-time syncing with Desk and our application.
Thanks for those insights. Jeff, you run customer support over at TalentBin, so please tell us more about TalentBin and the role of Desk.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, this microphone works. Cool. Quick show of hands here. How many people in this audience today have received an email from a recruiter which just seemed completely off the wall, like it was obviously spam and they didn't know anything about you? And we're getting a few hands here. Okay, good. Well, that's one of the problems we're trying to solve at TalentBin. So TalentBin is a big data recruitment search engine. And big data is one of those words, kind of like API, that gets thrown around a lot. So what does that mean exactly? We have about 300 million profiles, and what we do with TalentBin is we crawl the public data exhaust, and we create a 360-degree view of primarily technical candidates. And our mission really is to educate technical recruiters so that they are being a little more direct, a little more targeted, and so that they're trying to find people that have the skills, that want the job opportunity, as opposed to just sort of like needlessly spamming everybody. So that's kind of what we're up to. The company's been around for about 2.5 years now. We were acquired by Monster.com at the end of February, and I joined shortly after that. When I joined, there were about 200 customers, and now we have over 1,000 users just this last month. So we've experienced incredible growth, and it's been really exciting to be a part of that. So as we're moving into other regions, we're localizing in Europe, we're trying to kind of stay ahead of the curve. So part of it is to try to figure out how to use the Desk tool, how to use the API, how to use the Desk support portal to help self-serve customers, as well as to create asynchronous, one-to-many resources in order to make us successful. So customer success is really it's kind of a key differentiator for us, and it's marketed. It's part of our every sales call. We don't really see it as kind of like a support, like a call center necessarily. It's much more consultative. So what we do is we try to get really understand the goals of each user and try to help them be successful. The product itself is kind of a paradigm shift in a way, and so we see ourselves as kind of the natural sort of evolution with respect to, if you think about like classic recruiting as formerly paper resumes and then online job boards and then job aggregators and then LinkedIn and now really with social data, resumes in some ways have become obsolete, and we think that we're kind of the next step in that. So I guess let's talk about the API. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, same question to you as I gave to Brandon. What were some of the problems you were trying to solve?
Yeah, really, I think the big problem was trying to get all the data in one place so we could understand, exactly where customers were succeeding and where they were having problems. And with the Desk API, we created this really cool tool that we use in-house called Batman.
Good name.
Great name, right? So, and the product is almost as cool as that, but we're still working on it. But the idea is under one URL for each customer, we can see what success factors they're having. So, we track 12 or 13 different behaviors, and we can see all of that in one place, as well as all their Salesforce and Desk tickets and any other notes. Next action. So whenever we get on a call with a customer, we go right to that place, and we can see, in one single kind of unified view, exactly where that customer is with our product.
So you've obviously invested a lot of time and developer effort in putting this integration together. What do you consider your success metrics to be?
Well, a big thing was just being able to handle more customers and more intelligently. So I think especially as our user base grows, the idea was to not just throw people at the problem, but to be really smart about it. So that's across the company. So a lot of stuff is happening with the product itself, with respect to sort of predicting issues and helping people solve them, helping them self-serve. But also on the customer success side, being able to handle more people more effectively, and basically that's what we've been able to do because of that.
Okay, good. So one of the things we talk about at Desk is it makes small companies seem very big. You guys are going to see, as you travel around Dreamforce this year, you're going to see a blowfish, and that's our mascot this year. So I know you've been acquired by a monster, but you're still relatively small. I mean, how does Desk make you feel large?
Yeah, absolutely. We are a 25-person startup, and we still have a startup mentality. And we're a tiny shoebox division of Monster. We're basically left alone, allowed to innovate. We have their resources, but we're still, we try to be very lean and very proficient. So I think with Desk, we've been able to accomplish quite a lot of that, especially with the API integration and Batman.
Okay. And sort of a question for both of you now. So, I'm sure there are folks in the audience. Actually, a show of hands, how many people are Desk users at their company? And how many of you have integrated with our API? And how many of you want to integrate with our API? Okay. So for the 5 people that want to integrate with our API, any advice that you can provide the folks around the best practices and being successful with our data?
Yeah, I think with any integration, so for those of you who don't know, with Stitch, we are an integration company. We integrate with a ton of different APIs. So I would certainly say that, not doing a ton, but doing a good amount of product management beforehand and really talking to the people that are working in support, working in sales, in particular for using Salesforce, because the data from Desk should flow between the two platforms fairly seamlessly, of exactly what information people want to be able to see and what information you want to report on. Because the API is not just something where you can populate that customer information. You're also able to populate tags or a number of other things around cases. And you want to report on that in Desk or also post-process that data. So to give you a specific example, one of the things that we wanted to know is for future integrations that we add to our platform, what are the ones that our customers are saying? And we track that but we wanted to know what they were actually talking about in their support interactions. So we downloaded all of their cases, every support or every subject line, every body of every email, and we built a word cloud to see statistically what people were saying. And we were able to do these types of things because we put thought into how we wanted to integrate the information we wanted to get pushed up into Desk and what we wanted to be able to do in order to make smarter decisions as a company of how we want to support our customers and inform our product roadmap. So definitely do that front work before you build the integration. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of time for something that may not be as valuable to the people that, are really using it.
Okay. Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with Brandon, and I think obviously, I mean, just like with any development project, you have to be worried about scope creep and making sure that you really understand what the features are that you're trying, what exactly you're trying to solve before you go down that road too far. So, we're already kind of looking at the next iteration of Batman and all the things we want to do, and that's part of the reason why we're here, is so we can learn more about what is being planned by Andrew and Jazz and their teams with respect to the API. But absolutely, just understanding that and speccing all of that out in advance and really understanding what are the A and B features and so forth is, I think, really critical.
Okay, great. All right. So did you notice not one of them complained about rate limiting or anything like that? Andrew, we need to throttle it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, So Andrew, over to you. Let's talk more about the technicals of what we're doing today and what we're going to do tomorrow.
All right, great. Thanks, Jez. So we've had an opportunity to hear from a couple of our customers on how they're using our APIs, and I'd like to take some time to talk about where we are today and where we're looking to go over the course of about the next year. Before I get started, just to reiterate the safe harbor thing one more time, you're going to all get terribly sick of this by Thursday, but I'm going to be talking about some things that don't currently exist. There's no guarantees that they will exist, so please don't make any purchasing decisions based on this information I'm about to share with you. So where are we today? We currently have a modern RESTful HAL-based JSON API with about 250 endpoints. We spent the past couple years building this out. Basically, all of that has been put together just to make an API that developers want to consume. We consume it in-house. We have third-party developers obviously consuming it as well. And we take all that feedback, we put it all together, and make something that works for everyone. So like I said, we consume it in-house. Desk is now an API-first company, so we consume it across all of our new products. Our next generation agent is built entirely on top of our public APIs. If you haven't checked it out yet, the UI is fantastic, the user experience is fantastic. It's extremely fast, like Jazz was mentioning in the stats earlier. Business Insights, that's a reporting product that also entirely consumes our APIs. All of our reporting data, if you want to crunch any numbers on your own that we don't do for you, it's all available. Our iOS app, that's generally available. You can download that today in the App Store, 100% built on top of our APIs. Same with our Android app that's in the Google Play Store. Really, it's just the way that companies need to be building applications moving forward. It's also under active development, so we're pushing bug fixes, performance improvements, new endpoints on almost a daily basis. Of course, some of that comes with introducing bugs every now and then. We do squash those as quickly as possible. So something to be aware of. If you run into anything, please reach out. Let me know about it. All of our documentation, thank you for the nice compliment on that. It's all available at dev.desk.com. It should be everything you need to get up and running. We have full documentation, full examples on how to use every single endpoint in there. So where are we going tomorrow with our API? The things that I'm looking to focus on primarily are performance, usability, and continuing to support all of you, our customers. On the performance side of things, we currently use Ruby on Rails for our stack. It's fast. We've tweaked every last thing out of it that we possibly can, but we want more. So we've been prototyping things in various languages, various frameworks, and we're closing in on Clojure, actually, as where we're heading in the future with some of our read endpoints. It'll be a seamless transition, but everything will be significantly faster. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. On the usability perspective, like I said, we've been working on this for about 2 years, and we've noticed some things that we don't terribly like about our API. We have some other things that we love, so we're going to work to improve some of those issues. And of course, again, continuing to support our customers. Guys, if you have any problems at all with our API, any APIs you need exposed to deepen your integrations, reach out to our support team. Come up to me afterwards, talk to me about it. I'll help get you set up with whatever you need. So tomorrow, on the performance front, yeah, there we go, forward. Performance, so Clojure is where we're heading with this. So if we look at, I'm just going to share a couple numbers with you on a particular endpoint that I thought was interesting, but we're seeing similar numbers across all of the endpoints we've implemented so far. So we have the case show endpoint. It's a very high throughput endpoint in our system. We have embeds. This is on a non-production environment. So embedding is an interesting feature in our API that lets you return multiple resources with one request. So you can get the case, and say you also need the user that's assigned to that case, you want the group, you want the customer for it, you can pull all that down at one time. So it's we were benchmarking this with a relatively high load. So we saw our average server time response reduced from 36 milliseconds in Rails to just 4 milliseconds on closure. And that's a full request end-to-end. That includes authentication, authorization, everything needed. It's perfectly seamless. And at the same time, we saw our throughput increase from 28 requests per second to 250 requests per second. So 10 times better on both metrics, which is absolutely phenomenal. The main reason I share this with you is really just to drive home what Jazz was saying. We're committed absolutely to having an extremely fast solution. We want it to be fast from the user experience, but we also want it to be snappy from when you click something to seeing it show up immediately. And of course, that also helps with our integrations. You guys get lower server load times on your side. What else? Usability improvements. Something we're looking at rolling out would be better versioning. We currently have one version of our API. We're looking at, going forward, we don't want to break things as we add more functionality and make changes. So we're looking into taking more of an approach of supporting multiple versions at the same time so we can deprecate older ones and allow customers to slowly migrate upwards. OAuth 2.0 has been a big request that we've had from several customers. Really, my apologies for not having done it yet, but we're committing to getting that done soon. Fully asynchronous file uploads has also been a sore spot for a few of our customers that have slower bandwidth. Right now, we currently upload everything direct to our servers, and some people hit timeout limits. It's a problem for them, but we have this in development currently to allow you to provide an HTTP URL that we can pull a file from, or we'll also provide an S3 URL that you can temporarily upload something to, and then we'll take care of all the associations on the back end. You have a status endpoint you can pull to see how everything is going with that. Filtering on the index endpoints, this is one of those small usability things I mentioned. So search is a large part of our product. We have case search, customer search, company search, label search, search all kinds of things. And it seems weird to me that we have index endpoints that give you all that information and a separate search endpoint for a subset of that. So we'll probably be merging all of those into one thing. So really just getting rid of the search endpoints and do all the filtering right on the index. And of course, more endpoints. We're constantly rolling out endpoints on a weekly basis. And again, if anybody needs anything in particular, please let me know, let our support team know, and we'll get to that just as soon as we possibly can. I think that's about all I have. I guess, okay. Jazz, I'll hand it back over to you for some Q&A.
No, yeah. Please, questions for either us on the desk side or customers for the actual integration of our API?
No, please, and there's a mic right behind you, or right in front of you, actually.
Can you go to the mic, please, just because we're recording this session? Thank you.
I was wondering if we'd be able to search by custom fields anytime soon in the insights.
Search by custom fields?
Yeah, for the customer, not by the case. So right now we can do it by case.
I'll have to look into that. I would think it's something that we could probably do, yes. If you want to talk to me afterwards, I'll get your information and let's talk about it.
Hi.
Hi.
Great reduction in the response times and the number of requests.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I said, thank you for the improvement in response times and the number of requests. I think that's fabulous for the user base. I had a question about the API. You mentioned multiple objects in a single request. How does that work mechanically, and kind of what are the details around that?
Sure. So, just to kind of sum up how it works, you make a request to, let's just use the case endpoint as an example to keep with that theme. But you can make a request to show a case, and we have a get param you can pass called embeds. So you can say, I want the customer and I want the assigned agent, for example. And then in the response body, you'll get a section of the response. It's a hash. I think it's called embeds or embedded maybe. And within that, you'll have the customer object. You'll have the user object and everything else you need to show up right in there. So there's a limited subset that you can use on every particular endpoint, but it's all fully documented.
Okay, so you can kind of define the sub-objects sort of with a key, I'm assuming?
Yeah, they're fully returned in the response there. So yeah, it'll be keyed off. So it'll say like customer is the key, and then you'll have the actual body of that as the value.
Like, can you have sub-filters within that subset, I guess? Or is it just like related objects or something like that? I don't know if my question is
it's related objects right now, so you can just pull in extra data. So it saves you from having to make all the requests individually.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's so currently the filtering abilities for the subset of data, it's just related, the relation itself.
Yeah, you can't filter on the sub information currently.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
I wonder if you could describe a little bit more about how people are integrating the data into Salesforce. Are they creating custom objects and pulling the data in there, or Is it like a lookup feature? Maybe you could talk a little bit more about how that's...
So you're talking about the synchronization of desk data with core Salesforce data, is that correct?
Yes, and maybe that integration is happening through a separate portal, or what the design pattern is for that integration.
So I think the best answer to your question is it's called Desk Connect. There's some new infrastructure and functionality that is actually going out and has recently gone out into production, but we're just slowly bringing customers on board, where there is a message bus between Desk and Salesforce, and our core Desk objects are being synchronized over at core Salesforce. In terms of the patterns and the infrastructure, we're not part of that team, but I know they're using a pub sub model. They've chosen some key objects such as case and sort of contact information that's been synchronized over there. And if you go to the keynote and if you go over to the Westin, you can hear a lot more about Desk Connect, and that's what you should watch out for, in the sessions. And you'll hear a lot more over there about Desk Connect. So.
Jez, do we have a talk on that specifically? Desk Connect is
yeah,
Dan or
there's a talk on. There's a session again. It's over at the Moscone as part of the Service Cloud set of sessions. Okay. Any more? Yep.
So kind of along those same lines, we're implementing Service Cloud, and do you see Desk as an addition to, we're going to do case management in Service Cloud. Do you see Desk as bringing more valuable information in or for that customer? How do you see that connection?
It's a good question. So it's really the questions about the relationship, with the Desk offering, with the Service Cloud offerings, correct?
Exactly.
So we see Desk as that small business, emerging business offering. And with this Desk Connect, we see, as companies grow and there's the need for richer functionality that the Service Cloud provides, we see it as a path for you to upgrade very seamlessly from Desk to Service Cloud. So it's really the low-end offering. And when we say low-end, we're not compromising too much on sort of core case management functionality, but it's certainly the intro up to Service Cloud. And we have seen that with some of our larger customers. As the agents that that Desk is supporting hits the thousands, it makes more sense for those guys to migrate over to Service Cloud.
So it may not be a complement to Service Cloud. If you're already a medium-sized business, Service Cloud is probably the right solution. Is there any add-on that Desk would offer?
So I wouldn't consider Desk to be an add-on. I'd really consider it to a path to Salesforce. Okay. What we're trying to do at Desk is provide as much functionality that you will have in Service Cloud as we can on the lower end. So for example, telephony and chat, again, is something that's coming soon in our future. And those are very key functions that exist today in Service Cloud. But again, we see this as a great path to migrating up. As you grow your business, the offerings will grow with you.
Great, thanks.
Right, and just to add a little bit onto that too, Desk is more of a push-button start, really quick to get up and running kind of solution. Whereas with Service Cloud, you need to spend, potentially weeks to get up and running on it. So it's a lot more customizable, but at the sake of, kind of ease of use initially.
Right. Okay.
Hi everyone. I have a question more related to the Apex the integration with Desk. A few months ago, we have the requirement to get some metrics from Desk. We want to insert that in a custom object in Salesforce. We use Apex and the API from Desk.com, but looks like it's not allowed to make direct connection from Apex to Desk. So we just create a middle application, a PHP application that requests information to Desk, then send information through PHP to Salesforce using the. So my question is, do you plan to release in the future, or maybe allow this connection directly from Salesforce using Apex? It's a custom URLs, no? So it's a custom. Should be global, no? Should be enabled to connect from anywhere, but why from Salesforce have this restriction now?
So I think I caught the majority of that. And really, you started talking about Apex, which is the language in core Salesforce. And Desk is very distinct. We're on our own stack, our own technology. We're on sort of Amazon's cloud and that infrastructure. But today, our key integration is really going to be through Desk Connect, and then whatever creative solutions that these guys and everybody else has come up with the API. So if your question is around what's the relationship between Desk and its API and its data today in Apex, there is no relationship today.
Yes, because it's a HTTP records, no? HTTP records, so it should be something that will be allowed, but in some points they say no. So it's through the connector of the Desk account that you said that is the only way that we can do it, right?
Today, yes, Desk Connect will provide some of the core objects to be synchronized between the two platforms.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I think that's it, unless there's any final questions. Well, what I would ask you, the guys that put their hands up and say they are, due to integrate with our API or are currently integrating, the team's in town this week, so come and find us. We can give you any in-depth advice, sessions. Whatever you need from us, please reach out to us. We can help you. And Dreamforce is a great forum to connect with people, so please connect with us. Okay. Thank you.